Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Friday the 27th of January 2023. In today's Mill news, now this is the point in the video where I should probably be telling you that we've signed Kevin Nisbet, but that hasn't happened. Yesterday's video I said no news was good news. That is complete and utter nonsense because the deal has fallen through, and in the words of Kevin Nisbet himself, yes, he said no. He's gone. He's gone off. Kevin Nisbet rejects Millwall transfer chance of striker, decides to focus on Hibs. Now, yesterday, there were some rumours going around from randos on Twitter saying that he'd failed the medical. How true that is, we don't know. I would imagine that it's not beyond the realms of possibility. I don't know if you remember back in the day when we actually signed Bart Biakovsky. He failed the medical on a knee injury himself, and the deal didn't go through as a permanent transfer, but we went back in for him on loan, and then we took him on loan. He didn't get injured, it was alright, and then we ended up signing him permanent. Will this happen with this? I don't know. I don't think so. I think now we'll see. We'll read this story from the Daily Record. This is from dailyrecord.co.uk. Kevin Nisbet rejects Mill transfer chance and striker decides to focus on Hibs. The player will return to Easter Road despite the Edinburgh side agreeing to fee with the Lions. And that's the other thing as well. Now, obviously, doing a deal with the club for the transfer fee and doing a deal with the player are two different things. Unless you do dodgy stuff and you talk to the player when you're not supposed to, because he's not, his contract doesn't finish in the summer. If it did, we could speak to him from 6 months before his contract ended, and we could legally tap him up. That's not the case here, so we couldn't really speak to him until we agreed the fee with Hibs. So, like I said, getting an agreement with Hibs and getting an agreement with the player are two different things. Because you can't tap them up, because you can't do it before you do the deal with a club, you have a very short window of time to try and convince the player to sign for you after you've done the deal with a club. It's first impressions. Like, the guy needs to let's do this. If he's got any doubts at all, it's gonna be pretty clearly, and he could back out. So let's have a read of this. Kevin Nisbet's move to Millwall was off. The Hibs striker seemed destined to sign for the English Championship side after travelling to South London to discuss personal terms and complete a medical, but now the deal was collapsed as Nisbet decided against the move. A spokesman for the Frontman's representatives, Quanix Sports, said, Kevin has thought long and hard about this move but remains unsure about making it right now. He'd rather focus on Hibs for the time being. So a guy who put in a transfer request last year, who has made it very clear he wants to leave the club. He hasn't handed in a transfer request at this moment though, but he's just come back from injury. So now he wants to focus on Hibs. Nisbet would have become Millwall's record signing, a deal worth around 2.4 million, which included add-ons. The Hibs have a huge showdown against Hibernian at Easter Road on Saturday, and a 25-year-old could be involved. Well, we'll see about that, won't we? Like, we will see. I mean, it does. Will he play for Hibs at the weekend? Will he still be at Hibs if the transfer window closes? Because there are some rumours as well that he's got the nod that some other clubs are interested in as well. So they basically said, don't go there, and we can do a deal in the summer. That's what was said. There's some rumours going around as well. So he said he's been told stay at Hibs. We can't do the deal now, but we can do the deal in the summer, and that's Rangers. But we will see. So Hibs boss Lee Johnson was quizzed on Ryan Porteous and Kevin Nisbet ahead of the Aberdeen clash, and he said neither transfer is done, but they are not here in the building. I couldn't give you an answer at 12:30 on a Friday if they will be available for selection. They will be a big loss given they are two quality players under very different circumstances in each transfer. Sometimes it's difficult to stand in the guy's ways. In the case of Nisbet, we end up commanding a very strong fee that we could reinvest. Well, that transfer has now fallen through, so they're not going to get that fee. Okay. But yeah, it's so today I was checking on or online repeatedly to see had the deal been announced. Has the deal been announced? 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, then 2 o'clock. This comes out. Okay, this is not good. Bit of a gut punch, to be honest with you. So now we wait and see. Who do we get? Do we get anyone else? We've got 4 days now. Obviously, we've got no game on Saturday, which is good. So the club can work behind the scenes to do other deals. But what deals do we do? Do we go in? Is there any truth in the rumours about Sydney Van Hooijdonk? Can we do that deal? Will he get a work permit? Who knows? Was that just complete nonsense considering I showed you in the video that the same story had been put out by the Sun 3 years in a row? I think the guy at Burton's gone to Bolton, so that's not possible. Could we end up with Lyle Taylor, which a lot of Mill fans are happy about? Could we end up with Lyle Taylor? Who else is there? Will we go back in for Lyndon Dykes? Don't know. I don't know. It's just not good, is it? Not good. Because Kevin Nisbet, a very good player, and you kind of got the feeling that this was a class above. This was something that could put the cherry on the ice cream, would give us that little extra bit that we needed to push on. And now we wait to see what we can do. We tried, didn't work. What can we do? What can you do? What can you do? I don't know. But yeah, rejected. Rejected. Reject. Okay. We move on. This is from southwarknews.co.uk. Mill boss reckons away form has already improved after a big win in Cardiff. The Lions have only lost twice on the road since the start of November. Garrett believes that Mill turned a corner in terms of their away performances after they secured a win in the Welsh capital last weekend. Tom Bradshaw's first half strike was enough to down Cardiff City in a tight game, with the Lions doing a double over an opponent for the second time this season. Crucially, it means that they have won 4 matches on the road in 22-23, improving their away form drastically. Mill now have the 17th best away record in the division, which has played a big part in guiding them to the top of the table. Rowett's men sit just 2 points off third place with a game in hand on 6 of the 7 teams above them, giving the manager confidence that his side can secure a playoff place at the end of the season. Yeah, well, that game in hand is against Luton, and after this weekend, we're going to have 2 games in hand on some of those other teams. But then the second game in hand will be against Burnley. Well, that is a home game, so that might be not be that bad. It doesn't need to change the away form. I think it's already changed, he told Nisbet. I think we won 3 out of lost 5 away games, so I think the away form has definitely picked up. Overall, in general, we've lost too many games away from home. It's a fact. When you've lost something like 7 or 8 away from home and have won most of your home games, if you look at the top teams, they're pretty consistent in their performances overall. We certainly improved to beating Bristol City, Preston, Watford, Cardiff in this period is much, much better. While we waited a while for that away win, and now we picked up. Watching the game versus Cardiff back, I thought we played really well in the first half. We very much controlled proceedings. They had a couple of counter-attacks and transitions that made you feel as though it wasn't quite as good. Then in the second half, we did what we had to do. Actually, it was a pretty good performance overall. So there you go. More from Gary Rowett here on frenetic February fixture list. This is also from southwarknews.co.uk. Gary Rowett wants whole Millwall squad ready for hectic February fixtures. The Lions could play as many as 7 championship games between now and the end of next month. Gary Rowett wants his entire squad raring to go for the second half of the season as they look to challenge for promotion. The Lions are only outside of the places on goal difference and can move up to 3rd place in the championship if they win their game in hand. However, they face an incredibly difficult run of fixtures in the next few weeks. Should Luton Town fail to knock out League 2 outfit Grueling Town in the 5th round of the FA Cup, Rowett's men will face 7 league games in February, 4 of which are away, while 2 of 3 home games are against the runaway leaders at the top of the division. Yeah, we've got 2 of our 3 away games in February are Burnley and Sheffield United. And the reason why they're talking about Luton there, obviously the Luton Town game was supposed to be away just before Christmas. It was postponed. It could be postponed again if Luton beat Grimsby Town in the FA Cup this weekend. Then they will be in the next round, and that will be postponed again. So, will this game ever take place? We shall see. So they will face the same number of matches in April, which will likely be a defining moment for the club as they look to finally bridge the gap to the top 6 and compete for a place in the Premier League. With Mill's squad still looking thin, Rowett will need everyone at their best as he tries to figure out a way to play the strongest possible side while keeping everyone fit and healthy during the latter stages of the campaign. We've got a really good squad of players. They're really good characters, told Nisbet. Everyone works incredibly hard, but we've got some very good players that haven't started regularly over the last month. Although it doesn't mean that they won't start regularly over the next few months. Any team is only as good as its squad, and the depth of its squad. We've built it up. Not everyone can play. Not everyone can start. Not everyone is going to be happy with that. As a manager, you just have to deal with that along the way. What I would say is that with everyone we've got at the moment, I'm delighted that they're there, and I hope we get to the end of the window and our group is intact with a couple of additions. Indeed, who they will be, we do not know. We certainly know it won't be Kevin Nisbet. So, moving on now to this. So obviously, the captain's evening took place yesterday night in aid of the Mill Community Trust. You have 6 former Mill captains there. They had a little Q&A. They were telling stories and stuff. So Mill Community Trust's first ever captain's evening took place at the Den on Thursday night. Former line skipper Les Briley, Stuart Nethercott, Paul Robinson, Alan Dunn, Tony Craig and Alex Pearce took the box seat for a Q&A before questions were asked from the supporters in attendance. An auction with items such as match-worn shirts, signed boots and more then took place before a raffle concluded the evening, with prizes including a table of 4 in the 1885 Club Platinum Lounge for the Lions Sky Bet Championship fixture with Norwich up for grabs. The Trust would like to thank everyone who attended Captain's Evening and everyone who contributed to the auction. All proceeds go directly to the Millwall Community Trust. Take a look at the gallery from the night below. And yes, we will do that. Here we go. So there's your bangers and mash. Haven't done there. You can see it seemed to be a pretty decent night out. Only a tenner, it was only a tenner, so not bad. Well attended as well. Look at that drip. Look at the drip there. Yeah. So you get the idea. That's good. I wonder if they can do this again. I don't know what they're going to do. A similar thing, similar but different in the future. Maybe it'll be a yearly thing. I don't know. But there you go. Now moving on to this. Playing at the Den. Play at the Den in 2023. Yes. So this is from millwallfc.co.uk. Play at one of the London's most iconic stadiums this summer by hiring out the Den for a play on the pitch experience. Looking to book a business activity? Or perhaps you're celebrating a big occasion this year. Look no further. Millwall Football Club is the best place to hold an unforgettable day out. With access to change rooms, the dugouts, and qualified FA officials on hand, we'll be following in the footsteps of former Lions legends. To get 90 minutes of game time on the pitch, access to home and away change rooms and dugouts, PA system in use throughout the day, free qualified FA officials, provision of footballs and bibs, free parking, and the prices start from 1,500, but that doesn't include the VAT. So let's have a look and see. So they don't exactly say. It says in the summer, so I would assume that's after the season's finished. But here's the thing: hopefully, we got a couple of more games after the end of the season in the playoffs. So this could be probably until June. So if you want to hire the Den in June or July, or maybe in late May, I don't know. This is what it's going to cost you. Now, in terms of they quote the price of 1,500, but when you actually look at the price in here, that's early morning. So 9:30 a.m. Who wants to play football at 9:30 a.m.? Well, that's 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you kick off at 11, that will take you up to, was it 12:45? So yeah, that's about it. I guess you get this for the whole day, for that whole time period. So you can turn up at 9:30, but you have to be out by 1 p.m. I don't know how it works. But if you wanted to do it on a Saturday or Sunday, that's 4,000 quid, which is about 200. If you divide that over 22 people, the starting 11, two starting 11s, that's about £200 per person. I don't know. Is that seems a bit? I don't know. But 1,500 does seems to be a bit more reasonable. Obviously, they have it in the evening as well, so I guess it is in the summers. You won't need the floodlights. So if you want a weekday evening, it costs about the same as a Saturday or a Sunday all day. So, but there you go. If that's something that interests you, guess what could you do? Stag do, work do, just end of season final for your kids team or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, play at the Den. 90 minutes, you get FA officials, and yeah, not bad, not bad. So there you go. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.